Currier's Music World has been located at 136 West Main Street for 36 years. And this is our 50th anniversary. And it also is the year we get to move. So I'd like to do this little documentary to have my present location to remember all the love-hate relationships I've had with this building over the years, and talk a little bit about our evolution here. My history with this location started when I was a kid in grade school. I used to get off the bus in front of the music store and come into Newberry's, which are a 5 and 10 cent store, and there used to be a fountain, lunch counter, where you could sit right here and have whatever you wanted. I'd come in and have a cherry Coke and a candy bar, and then walk out to Big Hill Avenue, our first location, and work with my dad. We were at that location for 7 years. Then we were at the University Shopping Center for 7 years, and we've been here for 36 years. I'm going to show you around this building. It's a great building. I'm going to miss it, but it needs a big facelift. It needs a lot of work. For the first 20 years we were here, every time it rained, I'd have to go downstairs and vacuum up water. For the last 8 to 10 years that we've been in this location, I've had to worry about water coming in the ceiling because it's needed a new roof. And the first thing the new landlord did when he bought the building was put a new roof, so we haven't had to worry about that. It's been a good building, but like I said, it's been a love-hate relationship, and I'm going to miss it, but I will love our new building also. So we have 5 levels in this store, 2 main floors, and then 3 mezzanines. We're going to have a quick tour and talk about, you know, how we've enjoyed this building and how we filled it up with stuff. Come on. So this is the main floor, and it's where most of our small merchandise is. What's so nice about this building is the way it was set up when it was a 5 and 10 cent store, is the way the upper mezzanine is. You can stand up there and see everything from up there. You can see the whole main floor if I happen to be up there with a customer. Or if people are up there, it's very easy to see who's up there, so you don't really lose customers, which is a really nice setup when there's only 1 or 2 people working in your store and running it. When my dad moved in here, we gutted the building and put shelves on the far sides of each wall to store merchandise and display it. I will be able to go in and start working on my building April 1st. I have to start paying rent May 1st. 2 blocks away at the Richmond Underground, which is used to be Wallace's bookstore back when we were in college in the 70s. It's right past Apollo's Pizza there on 2nd Street. 11,000 square feet. I had an elevator and 2 levels. I'm going to go in and do a little painting and a little carpeting and move it. It's already got my studios are already there, my kitchen's there, my office is there. It's amazing. It's really sad because the gentleman who's in there right now, he put over $200,000 in the building, and it just hasn't worked for him, the business he has there. He's paying his bills and he's not making any money home. So.
Well, I've done that for all my life. I can tell you. What did you expect?
Exactly. Everybody has to have an arts angel to back them, don't we?
Well, I've been lucky.
Yeah, exactly. That showcase is not going, probably.
Well, what about the contents?
Oh yeah, all the instruments are gone. That's, yeah, we have some beautiful instruments. But if you see something you have to have, and I have 40 or 50 of my dad's collection still. More of them will be shown in the new store. It's just that they all need work.
Are these half models?
What?
Are these half models?
Yeah, some of them, oh yeah, I have half, 16th, 8th, 16th, half.
Is this a 16th right here?
I'm not sure. Let's see. It'll say on the tag. And we're going. So when we moved in here, my dad made these little rooms. One's the Martin room, one's a ukulele room, one's the acoustic electric room, and it really separates when somebody's playing. They're not going to bother the person next door. So come on and see these. These are kind of neat. The Martin room, the acoustic electric room, the world famous ukulele room. We love our ukuleles. We have a ukulele club here that meets every Thursday night. And of course, what is a music store without studios? We have 5 instructors here. One current instructor, Ken Holbrook, has been with us about 23, 24 years. This is his studio. When we first moved in this building, we were a little overwhelmed that it was going to be too big. We went from 4,500 square feet with our last location to 16,000 square feet, give or take a little, with this location. And I said to my dad, I want to have my shop downstairs. He said, you have your woodworking shop that makes kind of a mess downstairs, and your band instrument and your setup shop up here. So people can actually watch me do repair work, and it doesn't bother me. If somebody wants to watch me do a setup or do a restring on the guitar, of course we give restringing lessons. So this was the space that I've had for the last 36 years in doing repair work. I'm going to try to recreate that in the new store, we hope. Of course, this is a disaster.
As all creative spaces are.
How did I get started? I always knew I wanted to be a woodworker, and as soon as I got out of high school, I went away to a technical college to repair band instruments. Then when I got back from Iowa, I met a man up in Frankfort, Kentucky that did instrument repair, string instrument repair, and he wanted to trade trades. He wanted to learn some band instrument repair, and I wanted to learn more about string instrument repair, so he and I traded out for a couple of years. And then I went on to study guitar building at Taylor Guitars, to study mandolin building with John Monteleone on Long Island, New York. I have a wood technology degree from Eastern and a marketing degree. So then all my friends are luthiers. So it's just something you build on, the knowledge you get, you continually build on it your whole life. And I still feel like I haven't learned everything I need to know. That's because my best friend and my boyfriend are so much better than me. But that's okay. You always hang out with people who are better than you. That's how you learn. And I think sometimes I've forgotten as much as I've learned, but that's okay. That's what being 60 is all about. All right, so we're going to go to the upper mezzanine. This is where they had the fabrics and materials and dry goods, stuff you'd sew with. 2 teaching studios, a security room back here where the safe is, the sitting area for all the students, because when you have 5 instructors in here, sometimes you have a crowd of people. And then we have a lot of guitars and instrument spaces and so on hanging on the walls. And then we have a used instrument section in the back right-hand corner. And a piano studio. And this is my dad's office. This is not my office. My office is going to be 8 by 10, I think, in the new location. But that's okay. I always felt this was kind of a waste of space. When my dad was here, he really did have it filled up with box after box after box of literature and instruments and stuff. And we have been cleaning it out a little bit. He probably entertained more than I do with salesmen. Back in the day when we first started our store, lots of salesmen used to call on us. And you'd go out to dinner, then you'd come back and have a cocktail or have a beer. And so my new space will be a little smaller, but it'll still be nice. And then of course, if you live in your business, you have to have a kitchen. And this was the kitchen. We didn't actually live here, but we spend so much time at work, you gotta have someplace to eat. Okay, let's go downstairs. So one thing I want to convey in this video is that I'm ready for this move. It's emotional a little bit. It's going to be physically exhausting. But this building needs a big facelift, and I'm very happy the gentleman who bought it, our landlord who owns this building, and the new building we're moving to just 2 blocks away, is going to fix this building up and keep it a part of the downtown Richmond scene, which is really important. I love old buildings, and it breaks my heart when somebody just tears one down. So we know that's not going to happen with this building. There's a time for everything, and I think it's our time to move. And I'm happy about that. So that's why we're doing this, so I have some memories. So this section used to be called the bargain basement. When we moved here from our last location, we had a lot of stuff that had been around for a while. Big amplifiers, Earth, Marshall, whatever, big stuff. And a lot of it had been around for 10 or 15 years. It went in the bargain basement. It's all gone. It's amazing how people collect that kind of stuff. So this is kind of a catch-all space now for rental gear, but it used to be full of stuff. So this is one reason downsizing isn't hurting my feelings too much. So this also has the layaway section and case storage And then there's another studio in the back corner that used to be where you'd pick up your check if you worked here when you were at J.C. Newberry's. There's little cubby holes everywhere, and a lot of we don't use anymore. So, you know, it's time to purge old stuff that we don't use anymore. It's a mess right now, but that's part of it. It stays a mess.
And how many people are helping you move?
Oh, as many as I need. When we get ready to actually start physically moving things and not just throwing and organizing, on my social media person, Alicia, will put out an email blast, and I'll probably have more help than I need. So I'm not worried about it. I have a lot of great customers, and they all have trucks. So we'll do fine. Plus, my landlord is also giving us a panel truck and 2 of his guys to help move, so it'll be okay. It'll take longer than I think it's going to take, but that's just the way it is. Okay, this level is my wood shop level. It's a big, huge classroom teaching space, a jam session space, bathrooms, and storage area. Come on. This is where we have classes, building, repair classes, teaching classes, jam sessions. It was kind of an all, you know, whatever. Martin Guitar Clinic classes. Then I was lucky enough to have woodworking equipment to do my trade. I'm a luthier, so building and repairing instruments. We're starting to box up a few things, and it's kind of a mess, but this is where I made sawdust, basically. All my tools are used, and I got them from friends over the years, other luthiers and other woodworking friends. And in our new building, my landlord's putting in 3 big windows for me, just like this, so I'll have daylight to have my workshop. Because you got to have some daylight. You can't just have dark when you're doing woodworking. So this is kind of the storage area. When we moved in here, we had too much stuff, and you have to store stuff. And I just helped clean out a house that my mom and dad had. So we got a lot of storage. We have the public bathroom, a big drum studio back in the corner. We put the drum guy in the basement. And then at the new store, the drum guy is going to be in the basement too. This buffer has got a lot of history. This buffer right here came out of the Harmony Guitar Factory in Chicago, Illinois. My dad had a really good friend who sold us musical products back in the 70s and 80s. And he called me one day and said, I'm at the Harmony Guitar Factory, and all these buffers are going for $500. Do you want one? And I said, oh, absolutely. And there she is, and boy, she paid for herself the first week we had her. I use this every single day, and I'm just really happy to have it. It has a lot of memories from the person who helped me move it to the person who bought it for me. It's wood storage. You can't have enough wood. There's wood everywhere. So you got to take a picture of this electric. You have to put in perspective, this building's 150 years old. My electrician said to me one day, don't ever let them turn off that main panel. They'll never turn it back on.
Oh, wow.
So we will never turn it off. So now we get to move and not worry about it anymore. Old building. Needs a lot of TLC. So nobody should have access to this much storage, because when you have it, you fill it up. And we're going to eliminate a lot of this. We're going to try to get rid of a lot of stuff, and this is part of it right here. Just stuff that gets put in the, you know, the basement. You got to take a picture of my bathroom in there. This is one of my favorite spots, because this is where I did a lot of work. I have a big dip tank down here to dip band instruments. And when I first moved in here, I said, this is going to be my bathroom. And my dad said, well, do you know whose bathroom that was? When this was a building back in the 150 years ago, this was a segregated bathroom. And for some reason, I was drawn to it. I don't know why, but because it was private, I guess. And then we're back to the front of the building. We have one more level to look at. But this building is a big circle, and it has another set of stairs right here that go back up to the very front of the building, which are kind of neat. People don't use those. But if you're down here and you need to run upstairs, there's a set of stairs right here. You got to take a look at these stairs. They're pretty neat. Just go around the corner. I bet you didn't even know they were here, did you? That's my first antique I ever bought when I was like 20. Huh.
Okay.
So our last level in this wonderful building is the dungeon. And up to about 10 or 15 years ago, you couldn't get in the dungeon. My dad had it so full of stuff. And we've recycled and given away. And finally got it to where we can get in it. And there's still some stuff down there, but we don't use this, so I won't miss it. The cat has his kitty litter down here. But this was the shipping and receiving when it was J.C. Newberry's. This is where they received the big double doors down at the end of the building. They received all their merchandise. Oh, it stinks. It has a conveyor belt. It goes from the back doors all the way to the upper level. The conveyor belt's really neat. I mean, literally, you can follow that conveyor belt up to this top main floor. And that's it. That's our 16,500 square feet of 136 West Main Street, which also for the last probably 100 years was known as the Elks Club Lodge building. And we've been here for 36 years, so I hope whoever moves in will enjoy it as much as we have. It could probably house 3 really good-sized businesses.